Hi everyone, this is my first video. The Japanese overtime working system has been a constant point of discussion and concern in the global conversation about work-life balance. Even in 2024, the sight of Japanese workers clocking in crazy hours, often way past legal limits and sacrificing their personal lives. It's been a constant topic in the global conversation about work-life balance for decades now. Japan's business world is famous for its massive corporations like Mitsubishi, Panasonic, and Ito Corporation. These giants employ a huge workforce for a long time under a unique system called lifetime employment. The concept of employment in Japanese work culture goes a bit deeper. It signifies a commitment that goes beyond just a job. It's often seen as dedicating your entire working life to the company. This cultural aspect of lifetime employment isn't necessarily the norm in many other countries, where a healthier work-life balance is often emphasized. In those places, the view is that people contract with a company to improve their lives through a secure job and better financial standing, offering their skills and abilities in return. The word lifetime employment emerged in Japan during the early 20th century. When Japanese companies developing after the war, driven by a need for skilled and stability labor, it is a dominant practice. Matsushita, the founder of Panasonic, significantly shaped the employment management implementation back to the time. His paternalistic approach emphasized employee well-being and loyalty, like hiring new graduates and seniority-based wages, further solidified the system. So why do Japanese workers tend to put in such long hours? First of all, the unique membership-based employment system. When a Japanese company hires a regular employee, they're essentially welcoming them as a family member. Being a good member means being willing to help your colleagues, readily accepting your supervisor's requests, and going the extra mile. Now, workplaces are constantly evolving, with new tasks popping up all the time. Managers need to decide who gets assigned these new jobs, and naturally, they gravitate towards talented employees who can handle the workload efficiently. But even if someone works quickly and gets things done, their overall hours might still creep up because of the extra tasks they're given. This desire to be a valuable team member, a good member of the company family, can often lead to longer working hours. But even if someone works quickly and gets things done, their overall hours might still creep up because of the extra tasks they're given. This desire to be a valuable team member, a good member of the company family, can often lead to longer working hours. Second, many Japanese workers strive for perfection. Japanese workers often aiming for a 120% outcome, even when a 100% result is perfectly acceptable. They might think, I should add this extra detail, or maybe I need to consider this other point too, even if it wasn't explicitly requested. Also, even if their supervisor says, hey, that's enough. The worker's own drive for excellence pushes them to go the extra mile. This perfectionist attitude, while admirable, can definitely contribute to longer working hours. Third, the pressure that comes from customer service in Japan. There's a strong cultural emphasis on fulfilling customer requests immediately, even if they come in right before closing time. It doesn't matter if it's urgent or not to Japanese worker, the mentality is customer is king, and their needs take priority. Even though everyone has their planned tasks for the day. But one unexpected customer request can change the whole thing. Workers have to drop everything and handle it right away, leaving their original work on hold. Once they finish with the customer, they have to catch up on their original tasks, which naturally leads to longer working hours. While the lifetime employment system might seem like a cushy deal for employees, the reality can be quite different. Here's a breakdown of some common downsides that Japanese workers often face. First, micromanagement. Some offices have these crazy rules, like no phone checking anywhere, even during breaks, or mandatory greetings to every single person you pass. It's like being in a constant state of low-key performance evaluation. Second, harassment under seniority. People in higher positions might see you as an easy target for bullying, yelling at you, or publicly criticizing your ideas. Others might be sneakier, using micromanagement and discouragement tactics to keep you down. Third, if you try to voice your opinions openly, your boss or colleagues might try to shut you down with various ways. The reality of working in Japan can involve a whole lot of unwritten rules, stuff you won't find in any official handbook. Speaking up against these things can be tough. And sometimes it feels like just sucking it up and being patient is the only way to survive. With the tendency to forgive bad behavior and the near impossible task of getting someone fired, Some folks might find their only escape hatch is a job search outside of Japan. Another unique aspect of Japanese work culture is the use of seals instead of signatures. In Japan, every document needing a stamp of approval from a whole series of management, starting with the company president. Each person's seal will be tilted slightly toward the seal of the person in front, just like bowing to the superior leader. This has become an unspoken rule in the Japanese workplace, which shows how serious the work arrangement is in the Japanese workplace. If you traveled to Japan before, did you see many suits sleeping directly on the road with their briefcases? These people are not beggars, but Japanese corporate employees, usually regular employees. They have to bear a huge workload during the day and release work stress at night with a lot of alcohol. They usually don't go home directly after get off work, but go to Japanese bar to have a good drink. On the way home, they fell asleep directly on the road. There have even been incidents where drivers did not see people sleeping on the road and crushed them to death, or drunkenly fell off train tracks. Also, Japanese companies have a unique salary system where overtime pay is baked right into the monthly salary. This is especially common in industries like advertising in it, where long hours are pretty much expected. Basically, companies estimate the amount of overtime you'll do in a month, calculate a flat overtime pay rate, and then just add it to your salary. So you get the same amount every month, regardless of whether you actually work overtime or not. At first glance, it might seem like a sweet deal extra cash without the extra work. But if you worked as a full-time worker before, you will know this system basically normalizes overtime in the company's eyes. It makes putting in extra hours seem like a normal part of the job. And that's just one of the many ways Japan's salary systems contribute to the long-hour culture. In 2015, the work-style reform initiative by the Japanese government is slowly but surely fixing the overtime pay system, making sure workers get properly compensated for their extra hours. This means companies can't just rely on the all-you-can overtime mentality anymore and exploit their employees endlessly. Decades of ingrained workaholics